Okay, so a couple years back, there was this really popular thing on YouTube where people were animating their stories, but not like the Odd Ones Out or Jaden Animations or anything like that, but like My Story Animated. And some of these stories are like really out of pocket or just straight up fake. Now, I dropped into that rabbit hole again and I was searching for hours. I'm not gonna lie, I was watching video after video and just scrolling through these My Story Animated channels. And there's this one main one that pulls off over 1 million views every video.
Oh.
Some reaching 10 to 12 to 15 million a video.
Oh.
That is crazy. And they pump them out like every day. I don't know how they have that many stories, but I'm trying to give you a little dose of this, because some of these are wild. Let's just look at some of the thumbnails here. Tiggle bitties, creepies, improper grammar. Like, that's crazy. Where's it at? Right here? That's not how you spell destroyed. Some are just wild, like boobies. Like, pretty much every thumbnail has boobies in it. Like, they know who their audience is. But we picked out one from this list that we're gonna watch today, and that's this one. I pretended to be a policeman to date girls, and we just think it'll be interesting. I haven't seen it yet, and he hasn't seen like any of these, so it should be a little fun ride. Wrong decisions make good stories.
Hi there, I'm Mike. Thanks for joining me today.
Okay, we just started and his voice is already not synced with his lips, dude. Bro is just chatting away like...
Ooh.
And his voice is like coming after it.
Today, for My Story
Boobies!
Animated, I'm gonna tell you how I pretended to be a policeman to date girls.
Okay,
I went
he's still
all
not
the way.
synced up.
I even wore a uniform. You won't believe.
Like, you see what I mean? Like the animation, like, isn't bad, but they don't even go through the time to, like, sync up his talking with the audio. That's crazy.
How fast the seemingly innocent joke escalated. Things became too dangerous, too fast.
I don't know. I think it's a little more creepy than anything, honestly.
how do you
Dressing up
even-
as a policeman, impersonating an officer is a crime. And he's doing it to pull baddies.
Dude, how do you even get away with that for real?
He should just, if he wanted to impersonate a police officer, just pull a Johnny Sins. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Just become like a male stripper and just strip it off. Like, if you want to pull baddies, like, let's be real here.
From day one, as I walked on the streets, people looked at me with respect. Some of them even bowed as they saw me. It didn't take more than 2 days to realize the
Why are you bowing at a police
Who,
officer?
who is bowing at the police
power that
officers,
uniform
though?
had. I saw a dude about to cross the street and told him to wait for the sign. He looked at me really scared and waited. No questions asked. He even lowered his gaze. A speeding car slowed down as it passed next to
Animated
me.
boobies.
This was so much fun. I saw a couple of hot girls walking in my direction, and I stopped them and asked them for their IDs. They didn't seem scared. They even
What cop is stopping you to ask for your ID, though?
Ugh.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this shit is like fake as fuck. Like, there's no way that, like, we don't want to call anybody out or anything. Like, it's all in good fun. Like, it's not bad animation, and I literally sat here and watched these videos, so they are entertaining. But, like, My Story Animated, bitch, this ain't nobody's story.
Nuh-uh.
And I'm surprised it's not slowing down because of the writers, what's it called, boycott or whatever it is, where they're protesting. Because they gotta have some actual writers for this. If they're pumping out one a day, that's crazy. And if you stop me on the street dressed up as an officer and ask for my ID, I'm gonna be like,
I mean,
bitch.
But what dude that's trying to pick up girls is gonna ask for your ID, man?
Well, that's true. He probably wouldn't stop me, but still,
I mean, if I was a hot girl though.
I'm befuddled right now. Like, there's just so many details that aren't realistic. And that's how it is with, like, almost all of these stories. Like, they all either are, like, a rich, pretentious girl dating a bunch of different guys, shitty siblings, rich parents, and I don't know how they know that many millionaires and famous people. Like, what famous person is sending their story to My Story Animated to animate it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
who is doing that? But let's keep watching.
smiled at me and offered me their phone numbers. That night, my ex-girlfriend was throwing a party at her house. She'd broken up with me in front of the entire school.
Damn!
So
Oh,
I
okay, he got
decided
done
to show
dirty.
up for a little payback. I dressed as a cop, and as I walked over there, I started to see some people gossiping and going away from the party. I entered the
Do
house
people just
and
not
shouted,
recognize him?
"Police, hands up!" Before they even cared to see who I was.
So, I guess they just didn't see him, but, like, or is Brody just the quiet kid? Like, nobody even recognized him when he walked in.
Police.
We were already
But look,
on the
dude,
run.
every
The house was
time they
empty
always
in no
animate the
more than
biggest
2
titties on these
minutes.
characters.
Nancy, my ex-girlfriend,
That is true.
appeared not knowing what was going on.
Like,
And when she saw me,
good
her
God.
jaw dropped. She said,
These videos
"Honey,
are just trying
what
not to
the
get hard
hell?"
challenges.
I laughed hard in her face and said, "Oh, I wasn't invited?" Before she could answer me, I was already walking out of the house. "You'll pay
be
for
texting
this,"
like
I heard
that.
her shouting in the distance. The next day, I decided
Like,
to call on one of the
big-
girls that
big
gave me
ass
her
titties
phone
on
number
these
the day before.
characters.
We went out for a drink. I was wearing the police uniform to look cooler. She took a picture of us and tagged me on Instagram. Nancy would probably see it. Good. We were chatting and having fun when
But like, who's how do you find a detailed ass police uniform that's realistic though? You can't get that shit at Walmart. Like you gotta have like the bulletproof vest, like the taser at your hip, like pepper spray. I don't think they carry pepper spray, do they? But they got the gat, pow pow pow. You know what I'm saying? Like
Black market, man. Black market.
I'm not seeing a gat on his hip though. I ain't seeing no gats.
Nuh-uh.
It just looks like he's wearing a polo shirt, a tie, and some black jeans like the ones I'm wearing right now.
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, where's he at right now?
That looks like Chick-fil-A.
It must be Chick-fil-A, because every girl likes Chick-fil-A.
That is true.
on Instagram. Nancy would probably see it. Good. We were
the
chatting
old lady,
and having
though?
Yeah, who
fun
is
when
that?
suddenly we heard someone screaming. A woman on the street was complaining about a thief that had just stolen her purse and was running away. The girl that was with me told me to go after him. I told her that it wasn't necessary, that some other cop would catch him. But she insisted.
The way their voices don't sync up, it's kind of befuddling. I'm not gonna lie. I keep getting a little lost in the sauce, especially with the tickled bitties too. I keep getting lost in those sauces too.
She even said it was for our country or something like that. Damn. I started to run after the guy, shouting, "Police, stop!" It felt kind of powerful, I have to admit. I played football at school, so I ran pretty fast.
Your skinny
a
ass
couple
did
of
not
other
play football.
policemen were on the
Just
chase
kidding.
as well, but I quickly
Maybe just
outran
QB or
them
wide
and
receiver or
continued to
something.
chase the thief.
Or running
What was
back.
I thinking? I was having an adrenaline rush. I got closer to the thief and shouted, "Hands up or I'll shoot!" I didn't have a gun, of course, but I heard that all the time in the movies, and it sounded awesome. The thief stopped, dropped the purse, and turned
Just
around.
get butt-ass
As
naked.
he saw I
That'll
didn't
work.
really have a gun, he tried to pick the purse back up, but the other cops were getting closer. So he left it and ran away. I grabbed the purse, still panting, and gave it to the policeman. "It's your
Ooh,
catch." one
he
of them
is
said, and
jacked.
gave
Damn,
it-
maybe he was a
You should
football
give
player.
it back to the lady. That would definitely make me look good in front of my date. We got back and I gave the purse to the woman. All the people there bursted into applause, and my
It would be such a funny twist if all of these were like promoting like a hentai app. Like that's all it is, cause like ain't no way there are this many tickled bitties on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like
knows?
how does everybody this one dude runs into like Johnny Sins out here? Everybody's just got a fat ass and big titties. That's crazy.
date kissed me. It was so cool.
That
But
was
2
his first
seconds
kiss right
later,
there.
one of the cops said we should head back to the station to write the report. What? What report? I acted naturally in front of the girl, but I had no idea what they were talking about. I told her we would have to reschedule our date for another time and kissed her in front of everyone. I was starting to feel uncomfortable in the uniform. I felt taller. We arrived at the station.
It's just
and
one
then she-
big practical joke. They just throw him in jail. Impersonating a police officer? You're done for, sir. You're done for.
Chief of police came to congratulate me. I was scared for a moment, thinking that they might find out I didn't belong there. But
Do they
he
just
didn't care
not-
about that. He started
No?
to say that I was a great example for the station and that he needed more brave
Yeah,
men like me.
I don't believe
it was
this anymore.
awesome. I felt huge. But then he said,
I always feel huge.
What do you mean by that?
I'm lying.
What do you mean by that?
I'm lying. Let's keep watching.
they had an operative that same afternoon and that he wanted me there. I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. Things were escalating fast. I couldn't tell him I wasn't really a cop. That would be the confession of a felony. And I already was inside the police station, so they would surely lock me down. I had to play along.
They would surely dick me down. Wait,
Dude, they should have known from the beginning, man.
they can't just look at him and be like, Have I
ain't-
seen you before?
Real. He ain't real.
Have I seen you before? But all of the My Story animated videos are like along the same line. They all follow the same script. Like no way this dude is sitting there for 10 fucking writing a 10-minute long script for these guys. Like I ain't doing that. I'm not about to be like, all right, I was at McDonald's the other day, went to take a fat ass shit, took that shit. The toilet seat was clean, so I was like, oh, W?
Good
It's
day,
actually
good day.
clean. I was like, all right, don't mind if I do. I pop a squat, drop my log, I reach, there's no toilet paper. No, this is a true story, by the way. no toilet paper. And it was funny because I had to use paper towels on my booty hole.
Damn. You got red marks?
But no way I'm about to... I do got a little bit of red mark, not gonna lie. Ooh. But ain't no way I'm about to write that story and send it to these guys. It takes long enough to write one page, let alone fucking 500 for a 10-minute video. Like, I told that story in 30 seconds. That's crazy.
They took me to a conference room with all the other cops, and the chief started to talk about the strategy for the operative. As I heard the words marina, containers, and mafia, I started to get really scared. Then
where does this dude live? New York in the 90s?
Code as he pointed at us. Alpha, Echo, Tango, Foxtrot. He was talking so fast. What the hell was he talking about? Later, I discovered that those were code words for the alphabet, but I had no idea why he was using them. He separated us into teams of 4, and we all went to change our clothes. I followed them and did exactly as they did. They gave me a bulletproof vest, and I had to hide my shaking hands as I put it on. I remembered my date with that gorgeous girl from
They didn't ID him?
And now, it seemed like years
What did they get?
The rest of the
they
team,
gave him a big-ass gun? What cop do you know is carrying that gun around? He just went from police to SWAT team like that. Like, snapped his fingers. Now he's fucking infiltrating mafia bosses and blasting the cartel. Like, what the hell?
Maybe he's just too beautiful, bro. Doesn't even need to show his ID.
Dude, they're just like, he's sexy. He must be a cop.
Inside a van. They were all dressed in black from head to toe, but they were chilling and making jokes, so I relaxed a bit. I heard one of them talking to me. "Is this your first mission, kid?" he asked. I nodded in silence and swallowed after the word kid. What was I doing? I wanted to cry. I felt so cool a couple of hours ago. "Don't worry," he said. "Just stay behind us. Try not to get..."
He was just looking for baddies. Now he's in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Like,
shot. Wait, what?
Whoa.
Shot?
And then
he's got to work on his deadlift tonight.
Dude, I'm so over these ads.
Dude, they're probably making so much money off of these ads, bro.
Gun. Man, it was so heavy. I never grabbed a gun before. When we arrived at
dude, does he have a bulge? Did they animate a bulge on him?
I never grabbed a gun before.
Damn! Those are just his big old balls he's got to carry around.
When we arrived at the marina, it was already noon. They all got out first, and before I got out, I slowly hid the gun under my seat. There was no way I was going to carry that with me. They moved fast and spread out. I was suddenly alone in the middle of the road. A new and very different adrenaline rush.
Just turned into an anime character now?
Strength to run fast and hide.
I impersonated Naruto to pull baddies. But, bro, when I first saw the title and thumbnail, dude, I thought it was about to be like that guy from Dazed and Confused, where he's like, I get older, but the high school girls stay the same age. On some creepy shit, you know what I'm saying? I thought he was about to impersonate that officer that's at every school. Because that's how wild some of these videos are, dude.
Hide under a container. I heard they were talking on the radio. Again, they were using those strange code words. India, November, Mike, I heard. What? I said, I'm here. Mike? I thought they were talking to me. I didn't know Mike was another code word. But I got no answer. Oh man, I was so stressed. I didn't understand anything. Everything was happening so fast. From under the container, I saw feet moving from one side to another. And then, in the distance, I saw a huge, luxurious yacht arriving at the pier. That's them, let's go, I heard on the radio. But I was alone, and I was definitely not going to get out of my hiding spot. I saw the rest of the team as they got closer to the yacht. And then, the shooting began.
They just started blasting? Dude, how does this... Okay, so... They went from, like, 5 officers happening to be at the same spot where an old lady got her purse robbed, to going to the police station, to running an operation with the, like, SWAT team to, like, take down, what, a mafia boss? Like, what's going on, dude?
I don't know.
And after this is over, he's like, yeah, let me just write down this crime I committed and send it to My Story Animated, so they can animate it for me, and I'll gain nothing from it. But they'll have a funny story for their channel.
I covered my ears and hid again. The sound of the gunfire was so loud. Something inside me told me it was not a good idea to stay there anymore. So I got up and ran away from the shooting as fast as I could. My mind was blank. I couldn't think of anything but surviving. After a couple of minutes, I saw that someone was running in front of me, and as he saw me, he started to run faster. I thought he was running away too, so I followed him. It didn't take me long to reach him, and when he saw how close I was, he stopped, turned around, and tried to hit me.
Okay, so he just went from Naruto running to pulling out a Bakugan to being Spider-Man.
How the fuck?
Obviously, we're taking a lot of this too literally just for shits and giggles, but still, how does this happen, dude? Like, does this kind of thing really happen to real people?
Is this Peter Parker?
I spent my whole life playing video games and making YouTube videos. I never, like, had some crazy shit happen. Bitch, I barely been in a fight. Like, I got dropped on my ass once. I'll tell you that. Did I tell you that story?
Nah.
It was North Carolina. It was North Carolina, right? And I decided to pick a fight with the Karate Kid. Because I was a little angry 7th grader, right? So we don't get that much snow when we lived in North Carolina.
Okay.
So we found out that the ground at the park was like frozen with ice. So we had like dirt balls. And we were throwing dirt balls at him. Except this karate having motherfucker kept kicking him. And he kept kicking him like out of my hand. And I was like, dude, quit kicking my hand. I'll beat your ass without the B. So then I went to kick him back. And he caught my foot and flipped me on my ass.
Damn.
That's how it happened right there.
Damn.
And I lost my toe tokens. My toe tokens went flying off, bro.
Damn.
It was bad.
The adrenaline in my body had improved my senses and my reflexes. I kind of felt like Spider-Man. I didn't know how, but I dodged the fist that was coming fast towards my face. And without even thinking about it, I closed my fist and hit him in...
Dude, he's the mafia boss.
He must be, but how did bro turn into Batman with a Sharingan in an instant? He just knows how to fight right on the spot, starts dropping motherfuckers, drop kicking them in the dick and shit. Bam! Bam! You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
The guy fell to the floor in a second. He didn't move again. Oh my god, was he dead? Did I just kill a man? I was in so much trouble. I was too scared to touch him, but I couldn't take my eyes off him either. I simply stood there, shaking. And then, I heard on the radio it was over. Mike has him, I heard. Were they talking in code again?
Okay,
All the
now...
cops came running to where
so
I was.
I know he mentioned that Mike was his name, but how did they all hear... Oh yeah, Mike said his name was Mike when he heard the code word Mike. Now we know his name. Like... Does he have a name tag now? They didn't, like, ask for, like, oh, I need some identification if we're going to give you this name tag. Like, where's your badge? How about that? Where's your badge? Do you have a badge? Dude. I didn't think so. Bro was literally looking for baddies like it was Halloween. Now he's on a SWAT operative. Like, this is crazy. Like,
and they started to cheer as they saw who the man was on the floor. I was still in shock and didn't understand much, but apparently the guy I just hit was the head of the gang.
No way! He killed the gang.
What are you talking about?
He killed the head homie.
Now you're starting to get a stutter like me now, huh? But was that a Glock in his pocket, or was he happy to see us?
Dude, that's a Glock.
They turned him over.
That ain't no Glock cock. That's probably P2, honestly. P2020. I don't know my guns. I just know the Glock and the P2 are in rust, so those are my two guesses.
He had a gun on his belt, and that was it. If he'd used his gun instead of his fist, I would probably be dead. I don't think any adrenaline would be enough to dodge a bullet.
AK-47.
I thought of the bullet in my stomach and instantly threw up. I was so embarrassed. The rest of the cops started to laugh as they grabbed me and hugged me. It was so confusing. They took me back to the van as they celebrated the victory. One of them confessed that he threw up on his first operative too, and they all laughed again. As we went back to the station, I started to feel the pain in my hand. One of the cops said that the adrenaline blocks the pain for a while, but it had been quite a punch. As we entered the station, and I thought nothing else could happen to make this day worse.
What the hell was that haircut?
And what happened to the gun that he was handed? Did he just leave it behind like, oh, this isn't important for me. Let me just run away without my gun because there's no way I could run into any enemies that would want to do harm on me.
He said he tucked it under his seat.
What did he tuck?
He tucked the gun under his seat before he went out.
Why would he do that? Why would he do that? And is there another bad? Oh my god, another ad.
I saw my dad. He was standing, and I thought nothing else could happen to make this day worse. I saw my dad.
That's his dad?
Wait.
Oh, wait. That's probably his ex. I'm
He
slow.
was standing there with the chief of police on one side and Nancy on the other. What
Okay, why
was
is
my
Nancy there?
ex-girlfriend doing there? And the explanation came fast in my mind.
She came to beat his ass.
She'd seen the picture of me and the girl on
snitching.
Instagram and
She's
gave me
snitching.
away. You see,
I could never
my dad
snitch.
was a true cop, and the uniform.
Now the chief of police is gonna lose his job because he let some random dumbass on a fucking SWAT team operation.
Or to get chicks was in fact his. He'd been out of town for a few days, so I took the chance. I was in so much trouble. Now, they would surely lock me away, and Nancy would have won again, making me look like a fool in front of everyone. But instead of giving me a lesson, my dad started to smile and cheer with the rest of the cops in there. Nancy ran towards me, hugged me, and kissed me as she said, "My hero." I was puzzled. I didn't know how to.
I feel like they animated this, and then they did the voiceover, and they were just like, whatever, fuck it.
They just guessed, man.
They were
honestly.
just like, or they did the voiceover first, and they were like, okay, it's 13 minutes 48 seconds, just animate it. Just animate it like around it. Like, doesn't matter if it syncs up or anything, because he was like, she ran and hugged and kissed me, and I was like, we saw that 5 seconds ago. We're talking about it now?
react. What the hell was going on? My dad also hugged me and said he was proud of me.
Like,
that
the
he
dad is
always
just
expected
yapping
me to
away.
follow his
It's just-
steps. And now that I was finishing school, it would be the perfect future. He even started talking about a scholarship being arranged
Boobies.
and everything. But I didn't want to be a cop. I used it as a disguise to get girls and to make Nancy jealous. And after the terrible experience I just lived, all I wanted to do was run away from there as fast as possible.
So my theory is, they've got 2 people that voice it, right? Then they have a crew of writers, and then they've got the animators, and they have like a whole team behind this. Because if you listen very closely to a lot of these videos, I'm like, oh, they sound the same. So that's why I'm saying, like, they must have people, if it were real, to write letters to them. But I think they just have actual writers, honestly. This ain't my story animated. This is just a story animated.
I wouldn't mind
with
if I never saw a policeman again, but I couldn't go anywhere. I was the center of attention. Everyone was looking at me, asking me questions. Apparently, no one seemed to care at all the fact that I wasn't really a policeman. My dad was telling everyone that it ran in the family. He was so proud. Nancy didn't leave my side either. She was too comfortable with me being famous and her being my girlfriend. And that proved that the uniform was a great idea to date chicks. But now I realize I had gone too far.
Yeah, nobody
Not
do
only
this
did I
at
not
home.
want-
Yeah, don't do this at home. This is not, the uniform is
No.
not a good way to date
Dude,
chicks.
this is basically a tutorial, man. Just do this.
No, don't do
This
this.
is a tutorial,
But my
bro.
life had been in real danger. The chief said they were going to set an act to give me a medal for my bravery. I had to get out of there. Since Nancy didn't leave my side, I told her I had to go to the bathroom. I went inside and climbed out through the window. As I saw some policemen outside, I hid inside the building next to the police station. The cops
Okay, the
continued
fire
walking,
station. Now
and
he's
when
gonna
I
pretend to
looked
be a
up,
cop,
I
or a
realized I was inside
firefighter.
the fire department. This was actually great. I could definitely disguise as a fireman, because firemen had to cover their faces to work. No one would know it was me, and I could escape. So I went into the dressing room and put a suit on. I put the helmet on and hid inside the fire truck. I was sure they wouldn't find me there. But suddenly, a very loud siren started
Okay,
to
whose
sound,
buff
and I had
ass
to
is
come-
running at him?
Damn.
And, bro, it just seems like they maybe they had a story where they were like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Like, maybe somebody was, like, dressed up as a cop for Halloween and they managed to get, like, a girl from it. And then they were like, okay, now how can we work that into a 10+ minute video so we can get all the ad revenue? And then that's when they came up with this. That could be what they're doing, honestly, but at the same time, ain't no way they know that many famous people. If they're dropping a video every day with famous people and rich people, there's not that many in the
They
world.
scamming you. They scamming you.
cover my ears again. Someone ran inside the fire department and shouted, "Fire!" This was not happening. I hid inside the truck and stood silent as a lot of men started to appear from every side. They suited up quickly and they all got inside the truck. With no time to lose, all the trucks left the station. I got up and saw at least 7 other men dressed like me on the truck. They were busy setting up the equipment and paid no attention to me. I looked down to see if I could jump off the truck, but we were speeding. The noise was deafening. But it served to make everyone in traffic open a spot for us. It was kind of cool to pass every red light and to see the police on the streets cheering for us. Maybe I wouldn't get girls in this uniform, but it certainly made me feel cool too. Not even a second later, I started to feel comfortable in this new uniform. The trucks turned around the corner and a huge fire appeared in front of us. A building of at least 10 stories was burning
This dude
up
just has the
fast.
craziest
We heard
life, I
screams
guess.
from the balconies. Everywhere I
Already
looked,
some
it was
action again.
chaos. Some firemen took out their fire hoses and aimed
Okay,
them
now
directly
so
toward
now
us.
he's saving an orphanage, and before he took down a whole gang, he took down a mob boss.
Dude.
And he was just trying to pull some baddies. Like, what is going on?
One of the men was struggling with his hose, so I quickly lent him a hand.
Well, he's
and
got
between
hose,
the
so
two
he
of
can
us
help him out.
handled it. I didn't really know what I was doing, but the chaos didn't give me time to think. Other firemen were using the special ladders on the trucks to bring down the people from the balconies. Suddenly, an explosion came out from
Help
the building.
her.
Like,
and
the explosion was 5 seconds ago, dude. Like, that explosion came a long time ago. You gotta
one of the
rewind.
firemen on the ladders. They were trying to bring down an old lady, so without hesitating, I climbed onto the ladder and helped the fireman. We brought down the old woman just in time to see the whole building collapsing. She was the last one. Everyone was safe. With the furious water coming out of the hoses, the fire was finally extinguished.
This is too
As
wacky,
the ambulances
bro.
appeared to help the wounded, I saw a million reporters arriving at the scene. I had to run away. I couldn't let my face be seen. But as I walked slowly away, a few firemen grabbed me and started to jump in celebration. They took each other's helmets off, and I couldn't hold on to mine in time. Damn. My face was now clear in front of the cameras. My father was probably seeing it. I wanted to die. Apparently, this was the day of the hero, but I didn't feel like one. I felt ashamed. I didn't deserve the applause.
So if I were to
realized that
Google
all
the
my
day
life,
of the
I
hero,
lived surrounded by
or
anonymous
guy
heroes,
pretends to
and
be
instead of
policeman
respecting
and
them,
fireman,
I
like that
used to
wouldn't be
make
on the
fun of
news.
them.
I
Not
would
knowing
be
to
able to
what
find that
extent
right
they
now.
risked their
Because
lives
look, he's
every
on the
day.
news.
It only
I could
took
find
me a
it, right?
second to understand.
Probably not.
So as the camera was
This guy in the comments said, then he ended up becoming a surgeon and performed heart surgery and saved a life, and then he found himself wearing a pilot uniform and saved a crashing airplane and saved many lives. Whoa, what a talented man.
I
What are you gonna
exactly
do?
That. The men around me were the true heroes, the men that dedicated their lives to serving and protecting others, not only firemen, but the policemen as well. I learned the hard way why those uniforms were powerful and what they really represented.
Boobies.
Of course, people would look at them with respect and fear. Of course, girls would want to date those brave men. But I also realized that they weren't jobs for me. I've tasted a sample, and I wasn't ready to dedicate my life to any of them. It was an act of cowardice, I knew. But trust me, real life has nothing to do with the movies. As I saw the reporters and the audience shift to other firemen, and as I heard the police sirens in the distance, I realized it was time for me to disguise and escape one last time. I saw a medical gown inside one of the ambulances, so I got in, closed the door, and changed. Then I opened the back door, left the
Dude, his
fireman
hair got stuck in
uniform
the door.
up,
Did
I
you
got
see
in,
that?
Closed the door
Look.
and changed. Then I opened
Oops.
Oh no.
He like tries to lean forward. Oh shit.
the back door, left the fireman uniform on the street, and got inside the passenger seat of the ambulance. I saw my dad's car passing the ambulance, so I lowered my head and hid. I sighed, and a second later, I heard
Dude.
on the ambulance radio
Not again,
that there had been an accident a few blocks away. I opened the door to get out, but the paramedic got inside, on the driver's seat, and said, "Great to see you're free, let's go." Oh man, can this day get any
Now he's-
worse? I didn't dare answer that.
What the
as
fuck? The screen just
ambulance
turned
left
off.
at full speed.
What?
Founded by
We got it. I'm so confused.
Part three.
What just happened? Did we just get left on a cliffhanger? Dude, what? Now he's living a life of crime? God damn it, Zaxby's, go away. Dude, it actually just goes
To see you're
black.
free, let's go.
What?
Oh man, can this day get any worse? I didn't dare answer that as the
See? The animation and the voices just didn't sync up so much that they just had just nothing at the end. That's crazy, dude. What? These videos are just so funny, but hey. They're making it big. They already are big. 17 million subs is crazy.
That is crazy.
And as long as people enjoy watching it, like, who really cares? Like, honestly, I had fun making a video on it. I hope you guys had fun watching us make a video on it. And I mean, if you think you'll like watching the videos, watch the videos. I don't care. Like, if it makes you happy, it makes you happy. But anyways, that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. We got some more bangers coming. We're almost at 2,000. Let's get it.